Yeah, it's Rita this morning. Morning. How are we?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Well, I'm pleased to hear it. Now, I won't go too on about it, but you just returned from an international debacle, and I think you've actually just gone for a sunning sensation and just eased yourself onto the beat to top up the tan. But that's not the case, is it?
So, yeah, there's always a little bit of sun. Whenever I do a client retreat, I'm never going to take them somewhere cold and grey. That just would go against everything that I believe in. So yeah, we always go somewhere where there's beautiful beaches, beautiful sunshine, and we do it every year and take sort of 10, 12 women away to really just commune together and learn and grow. And there's a lot of coaching, but there's a lot of yoga, there's beach meditations, there's sea swims, as well as just a lot of breath work and relaxation, as well as getting to know each other. You know, we had a private chef, which was fantastic. We had, a private pool, and it's transformational, but also relaxing and sort of a bit of a breakaway. So yeah, but sunshine's definitely part of that.
Yes, and sunshine definitely makes people feel better, and it raises the endorphins before you do anything else. So that's always a bonus. All right. That said, and if it's all had its uses and made people feel better, and as you said to me off air just a little while ago, yes, it's a lot of work because you've got to do the planning and you've got to do all of it. But at the end of the day, can you look back and you can go, yeah, that worked for, or next time I might do this because I didn't realize. And all these things are a learning curve for everybody, aren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, as much as the retreats are work for me, so I wouldn't say that it's necessarily like a break or anything like that, because you are making sure that not only are you organizing, but you are equally giving every single person space. So a retreat, they're always successful because the aim of a retreat is for women to leave feeling transformed, having breakthroughs, feeling that whatever their decisions are in the future, they're the right decisions for them. And every single woman left that place feeling transformed. Even the moon had this rare lunar halo that none of us had ever seen before, and it sort of came out on our last night. And it's about bringing people together and also making connections. We went away for sort of, I'd say 3.5, 4 days, depending on when people arrived. But they felt like they'd known each other for decades. It was leaving feeling heard, feeling safe, feeling loved. And that's really the biggest thing of a retreat. Yes, there's yoga. Yes, there's the beach. Yes, there's a private chef. All of these things are awesome. But the transformational coaching is always going to be the foundation of every retreat that I run. And every woman left with a breakthrough feeling transformed. So yeah, definitely a successful trip.
Okay. So affirmations versus incantations. That's going to be the big words to be absorbed at breakfast. Okay, please explain.
I know it's a lot of syllables to be dealing with before coffee. So most people listening to this have probably heard of affirmations. So the idea of an affirmation has been around for a long time, where we can manifest different feelings or behaviors through a saying, a phrase, a mantra, words. So let's say we come up with an affirmation, which is, I am strong, I am confident, I am beautiful, right? Just a sort of basic affirmation like that. Now, an affirmation is simply saying the word. So just as I said it. And that often doesn't work for a lot of people. It does for some, don't get me wrong, but for a lot of people, they try and do these affirmations and they stop after maybe a month or so because they're feeling no different. Nothing's happening. And actually, it's because affirmations focus purely on the words and nothing else that goes around it. So if I sat here and said, I am strong, I am confident, I am beautiful, it's not the most convincing in the world.
It doesn't have a ring to it at all, does it?
No. So I'm saying the words, I'm using the affirmation, but my entire tone, my physiology, my verbiage, my movement, everything was low, it was down, it was depressed. And so that affirmation is going to do absolutely jack. because the words aren't being used in a context that will actually create change. Now, an incantation is essentially an affirmation with oomph. So an incantation is where we take every fiber of our being and we put it behind that affirmation so that our physiology, our tone, and our words are all in alignment. So rather than looking down, slumping, I might stand tall. My shoulders would be back. My head would be high. I'd say it with feeling. I am strong. I am beautiful. I am confident. And suddenly there's a completely different atmosphere, a completely different feeling that resonates. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is on the retreat, one of the things that I got all the women to do were incantations on a rock overlooking the sort of Grecian oceans at the bottom of the Temple of Poseidon. And probably half of them took to it like a duck to water, and they were up and they were really using those incantations. And half of them were terrified. The idea of standing in public and saying these words as loud as they can with feeling was a really nerve-wracking, and I'm talking about women who run companies with hundreds of thousands of employees, and they were terrified to just say something loudly on a rock. And it's because when we incant something, we're vulnerable. Saying an affirmation low, we can hide. We can say it quietly. We can shrug our shoulders. We can look down. We can bury our face in our hair and we hide. But an incantation, there's nowhere to hide. You are big. You are proud. And they did it. They all did it. And they felt so much better. And then they suddenly went, oh, I want to do it again. I want to do it again.
Was it that much of a relief then that they felt that they was able to get something out and they were able to sort of do an expression they'd never thought possible before?
Absolutely, because we can all be very good at things in our life. I'm great at certain things. I'm terrible at others, and same for them. But an incantation, if it's not something that you're used to, most of us judge ourselves significantly on a daily basis. We're always in a constant state of self-judgment, and standing on a rock with tourists walking past doing this is exposing. It's vulnerable. People will look at you. People will notice you. But it means that your entire body believes the words that you're saying. Most people, when they just say the affirmation, don't believe the words. And so nothing changes. But when we incant it with every fiber of our being, we're proving to our brains that, yes, my entire body believes the words and will manifest the words. So it's really key for people who want to make that change and use affirmations to understand the words are probably about 7% of the change. The rest of it is how you stand, how you move, how you breathe, and the tone that you use.
Well, it's pretty much like, it's not always about what somebody says, it's how they say it. And you can tell someone to, in inverted commas, clear off. But it's the way and with the gusto that you say it, you can say, "Oh, go away." And or you can enhance that and embellish that and give that a bit more gusto. It has more meaning to it. So it's based on that thing. And do you find that the women in general finally grasp that, or did you have to demonstrate how that encompasses itself? I mean, for you, it obviously works because otherwise you wouldn't be putting it into somebody else's mind.
Yeah, so I will, depending on the context, demonstrate. So I did an incantation as well, but I actually purposefully went last because often when someone, I don't have that fear of self-judgment anymore. I don't have that sense. So for me, it's a very natural, easy thing to do. I don't really care. I could go into the middle of a pub and sort of just stand on a table. And when you see someone do it with such ease, it can then almost create more pressure because, oh, they did it really easily. Why isn't this feeling easy for me? So I actually demonstrated at the villa before we went to the Rock, what is an incantation. But in that environment where we were very exposed, surrounded by sort of the public, I purposefully went last so as not to put that pressure on anybody else to feel that that's a standard to live up to. Because an incantation, like anything else in your own wellness journey, is so unique to you that it's not right to compare. We often compare with people who have been doing things for years. People will compare their bodies to people who might have been going to the gym for a decade and sculpting their body. So it's about, rather than comparing, she's done it this way, so I need to, what feels right for you within the framework of what an incantation is.
Well, I have had experience, not myself, but close to home, whereby someone has gone, like you say, to the gym and they want to do bodybuilding, whatever, and they've gone to work out with somebody who's been doing it 15, 20 years and aspired to be the same person. But of course, you can't do that in the blink of an eye. But if you have, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you have that belief and that drive that you say is an incantation, you will aspire to get there. It just won't happen in a blink of an eye, but it will give you the founding and the base blocks to achieve it, yes?
Yes. So an incantation is all about convincing yourself of what you truly believe is possible. So I would never say you want to do an incantation that says, I am okay, I am mediocre. We don't incant things that maybe we feel are realistic at the time. We incant things that we wish to manifest in the future. So whether that is in your body, your wealth, your career, your relationship, it's about, what do I visualize as my future self? And using the affirmation and the physiological changes to incant that, so that you're essentially speaking it to the universe. You're speaking it as your truth. And when you start to speak it as your truth and your entire body is behind you, that truth starts to manifest itself. Now, it takes work. Mm-hmm. I'm not one of these, purely spiritual people who sits on a rock and says, if you manifest it, it will happen. No, you still have to do stuff to make that happen. You can't manifest weight loss and continue to eat Burger King 5 times a day. It is about making and taking actions that align with the incantation. But if you truly incant and believe it, those actions become far easier to achieve.
Fantastic. All right, sounds fascinating stuff. I'm off to have an incantation downstairs in a minute. Just coffee. So listen, for more information, how would people get a hold of you to find out more? And also, if they can go on the next retreat, perhaps.
Yes, so the next retreat is going to be next year, and we are going to do, by popular demand, a 10-day, possibly 7-day, haven't quite got there yet, still planning it, in Bali. So we're going to go to Bali and have a beautiful meditative, yoga, relaxing, transformational week to 10 days in Bali. So if anyone wants any more information or wants to sort of say, they're interested, then feel free to give us an email, which is Rita, Rita, at thehealthandfitnesscoach.co.uk. We're live on Facebook right now, so shoot to my profile and pop me a direct message, or you can WhatsApp us, which is 077 6969 0679.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Rita, listen, thank you very much. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad it was successful. And we'll speak to you again next week on a new subject.
Absolutely. See you then.
Take care. Ta-da. Bye-bye.
Bye.